as an example, in this moment, guided with urgency to reach out to you. Maybe not the perfect setting, not an office setting, not dressed like a coach or a specialist or whatever. And that's what it's never about. It's in the moment, it's guidance. And I recently, in the recent past, again experience, and I realize how hard it is when you're dealing with controlling people, manipulative people. Yes, narcissistic individuals, or anyone with a different personality disorder. How extremely hard it is to detach and leave. And why? And this is so underestimated. And when I explain it, it's probably seems so simple. But they prey on your good heart. They prey on your loyalty to them. They prey on that you, well, if you have a character like that, if you want to be liked, if you're more like a people pleaser, they use that. Somebody coming in. Sorry for the noise. Opo. Hindi. Bili? Pabili?
Where's Atelin?
Hindi alam. Think bayan.
Bayan?
Oo. Bakit? Urgent? For baba? Anything? Bili-bili or baba? Concern?
Atelin?
Oh, ikaw. What's concern?
It's important.
Yeah?
Bayan siya?
Yeah, and so maybe long time. I don't know if very urgent, I can maybe text or call.
Wait lang.
Okay, all right. Sorry. Maybe hapon ulit. I think LTO, so never know how long time. Sige. Ah. Need to cut that out of the video. Again, once they know that you with your loving heart, your caring heart, your loyal heart, as well, the one that once you say something, you always feel you need to follow up on it. If you're the person that always want everybody to feel good, and you're afraid to say no, or you're afraid to share actually something that you don't like about them because you don't want to hurt them. And why that is so extreme, that feeling of not wanting to hurt someone else, is because you are being hurt so much and put under stress so much. And over time even, you lose touch with that actually, because you get used to it. Because you know how things hurt, and you know how painful things are. And that makes you even extra careful. And because you don't want to give anybody that, or even a small amount of that pain or hurt. And that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. With the right people, they will love that in you, and they will value that, and they will nourish that, and they will be happy when you share anything that they maybe do you don't like, but they will never actually hurt you. So that actually will not even happen. But this is the double down and the cycle when you're dealing with this type of abuse, because you're being as well so much hurt over time. And things might seem slight, but it's also the stress, the tension, there's so much in the air. It's not only things the things they literally do and say, but it's also energy and like unsaid words that are, well, in the spirit. How do you say that? or non-verbal cues. And if you're a person like this is what these people literally prey on, because they work differently than the good ones. They move tactically and strategically, so they observe you and then they know, and they use it against you, and knowing that you will always probably be forgiving, loving, caring, and as well stay. So unfortunately, you have to be able to wake up to this, and sometimes it takes so much before you do. Sometimes someone really needs to feels it already, or you feel it already for years, and you know there's things wrong. But because of this dynamic, it's so hard to decide to step up. And even if you have moments that you know you should, you talk yourself out of it. And your programming does, and your brain will, and often therefore you stay and stay and stay, and often things really need to go so ugly first before you make that decision. And sometimes that means really becoming ill, or anything else that comes from stress and emotional pain, and that can, nervous system, the stress on that, autoimmune disease, and so much more that follows from that. And yes, with this type of abuse, you're literally with predators that prey on these things, on your good heart, and their sorries, apologies are not real apologies. It's that they know that once they say that, it softens you and have access again. If that doesn't work, it will be something in the spirit of making you feel guilty or shame for perhaps wanting to leave or setting a boundary, by showing to be sad, or by pretending or showing a very different good person, being a good person again. And if that doesn't work, they go straight to the next level, and that's guilt tripping, but as well smear campaign, going to other people and the close people around you to prep their mind, and to, while you don't see it, they'll be there pretending like, I don't understand, and they'll be sad, and they will twist the story, and they are mistreated. They're gonna play the victim in the story. They're gonna flip the narrative that way. And that's the most ugly thing, because people that don't know really what's going on, will often follow that and believe the actual predator, the manipulator, the controlling one, could be a narcissist, or anyone with any kind of personality disorder, sociopath, borderline, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But yeah, they will flip the script in playing the victim. If any of their tactics don't work, going from first sorries, if that doesn't work, being sad, or tend to be sweet, trying to remind you of the good times, and this and that, doing other things that make them appear as if they're changing. If that doesn't work, they're gonna go to influencing the people around you, and eventually they're gonna play the victim, that they are mistreated in this situation. And this makes it so incredible hard to, even when you have decided to leave, or when you decided to cut off, or break a relationship, or set a boundary, even when you have done that, that's why you're still vulnerable, because in the next phase it's even maybe harder, or incredibly hard, to keep it that way, and not fall back into it, or not open up to it again, because of all their tactics that when you still, with your unhealed heart, with your old programming, with your good heart, your loyal heart, your forgiving heart, they always like forgetting the 99% that was just terrible and just remembering the only 1% that was good, and always wanting to believe in the good of people and second chances. You're still so vulnerable to all of these tactics, and this is to start with why you need ongoing guidance and support. If you don't have that, you're gonna, I want to say, make mistakes. You're gonna open up too soon again. You're gonna be vulnerable to their tactics. You're gonna feel sad for them, although they abused and used you and people around you or whatever, and they're shown to be a predator and using really dark strategies to work their ways in your life or with you. But with their tactics after, and you being loyal and forgiving, and they know that, they're gonna try things, or they will come around and try to apologize again. But if you need to stay strict on your boundaries. A boundary is when you, for instance, share the truth, and then it needs to be followed up with consequence. It's a consequence to behavior, and that could be no more access, no more contact, break of relationship, and that's the first part of becoming free. Now, even maybe the harder part is because when you've done that, it's incredible, important, powerful moment, and you're doing amazing when you do so, and you can be proud and celebrate. But that's as well the moment you need to stay sharp, because yes, free now, and you might feel, now it's done, you're tired. Nope, now you press forward, because that's the moment they will ramp up the abuse tactics, the manipulative tactics to come back, to try to come back. And if they will try directly with you first, with false, fake apologies, because they know you're soft and good heart. They know your forgiving spirit. But you need to keep reminding yourself in the beginning about that, all the shit they've done, and the pain they have caused, the stress they have caused to you and the people around you, how it influenced you, perhaps your family, your work, your daily joy, and because that's all taken away. And this is why you need ongoing guidance, because you need to be reminded. This needs to anchor in. Unless you do that, you're gonna make mistakes. I mean, not mistakes, you're gonna fall into traps, and that will lead to opening up to stuff again, that will lead to engaging again, and it might be good in the beginning, but it will turn the same way and even worse long after. And then you're just delaying, and then you're experiencing the stress again. And this is why so many try, but don't really become free, or fall back in the old abusive relationship, and eventually become so drained or ill that it becomes almost impossible to leave. And when you allow them back in, they don't, it's not like, yeah, I was abusive and wrong and I need to change it. They're not gonna dig in deep in themselves, like, this is really my stuff, and I'm doing this. Maybe they have trauma and they're afraid, or they're this or that, and this is their way to go through life. Yeah, no matter what they have experienced, no matter how they're programmed, because sometimes it's just also an evil spirit, and it's no excuse for doing so, or behaving like this, or abusing and manipulating others. So they will continue, and it's not that they rarely, only when somebody would recognize it and really go to therapy or something to work on that dark stuff, maybe, but otherwise, no, they're gonna be like, how can I be more cleverly hidden, manipulative next time? So when you allow them back in, it might be nice in the beginning, but they're gonna cleverly continue with new ways, and you need to figure it out all over again, and you need to experience it all over again. And you don't have the luxury of experiencing this over again, because it drains you, it's stress, it kills your healthy spirit, your connection with others. They break up friendships, they break up family systems, if you allow them. And again, to go back with the good-hearted spirit, your loyalty, yes, beautiful. That you are like that, and with the right people, that's what's valued and honored. But they use this strategically and wrongly. They will do shit that's wrong, but then bank and use your strong feelings of loyalty and good heart and forgivingness to get away with it and come back every single time. So then it really comes to, I mean, again, first, this is why it's so incredibly hard. I'm making a separate video about this because I'm now recently experienced it again with some people around me that are dealing with this, but have no clue. They're like in the beginning of experiencing stuff, and I'm really seeing like how things continue and slowly kind of fall apart because of someone like that. And the worst thing of this type of abuses with manipulators is that shit is being done to you, ugly things happen, but you're shy and scared to speak up because you're afraid for their response. And that's insane, of course. But yeah, there's truth in there, because with the highly manipulative, controlling ones, they can become face-to-face aggressive. So when you expose your truth, for instance, that needs to be done in a certain way and in the right timing. And when you're alone, that is a very specific way. And then again, lean in, step in the journey. The link is in the description. Everything is handled in there. But if you do it wrong when you're alone, you can be really in danger. So it's good to have always people around when you do that. But you need to be prepared as well and know what to say, and the right message needs to be delivered for it to be effective. But the fear of speaking, the fear of freaking telling the truth, where with a healthy person, you will feel it's easier to say, hey, you did last night really kind of hurt me, because you know that person is safe, and I was, oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. That's helping, and I'll pay attention to that. And they will, and you will see it in their behavior. Because, yes, again, words are only words. You need to keep observing if the actions follow. Because with these manipulators, they can do the same thing, like, oh, thank you, that, and sorry. But they continue thinking, okay, how can I go extra next time, or come back in a different way. And that's predator mind, and you cannot change these people. They are or possessed or have a dark